Okay, it's 5 p.m. and I welcome you all to yet another online book club meeting. I'm Saloni Jain, your Wow Money Book Club leader. So, what is Women on Wealth? So, Women on Wealth, we help women take charge of their finances, and our aim is to create 50 lakh women wealth creators by the year 2030. And this online book club is just one way to reach there. In this book club, we are aiming to impart financial education to women through books. We meet once every week and we read books on personal finance, investing, habit, and mindset building. This is a safe space. So you can talk about money, you can discuss your money woes. And if there's something in the book that is clicking with you, feel free to share with us in the meeting. And creating your money life requires your active participation. So the more you engage in this meeting, the more you'll get out of it. So now the book that we have selected for this month is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was written in 1997 by Robert Kiyosaki. Can you imagine this book is just a year younger than me? That's how classic this book is. So in this book, Robert Kiyosaki is talking about his two dads. One he calls his poor dad, which was his dad, and one his friend's dad, that is called its rich dad. So he has taken this wisdom from both of these dads, and he has compiled it into a book. And so conveniently, we can read it now. So let's start beginning the discussion. But first of all, I would really like to acknowledge all the members who have been an active participant in the Telegram group, and they kept sharing stories from their lives and what they liked from the book. So I really want to thank you all of you guys to keep the ball rolling, so to say. And yes, let's start with today's discussion. So this week we asked you guys to read the introduction and chapter 1 from the book. So I want to ask you guys, what is it that connected with you in these chapters, right? Because it's the introduction chapters. When we start reading the first chapter of the book, we are like, yes, this is what I wanted to know. Ab to ye aur badhni hai. So what is it that you guys loved about these first two chapters, the introduction and chapter 1? Please, you can either unmute yourself and share, or if you cannot speak, you can also use the chat box.
Okay, can I go? Rinku here.
Yes, absolutely, Rinku, go ahead.
Okay, and after a long time, I'm joining back. I had my classes and a good book, reading it for the second time. Okay, I had read it long back. I think 8 to 10 years back, I had read this book. And the best part, what I liked about this was कि ये सोचो कि वो चीज पाने के लिए मैं पैसे कैसे कमाऊं. ये मत सोचो कि यार पैसे नहीं है. And that changed a lot in me actually. And I have worked for these 10 to 12 years in growing my money. So that has really helped me, and that is how I relate कि कैसे बढ़ाना है वो सीखो. और उसका जो फर्स्ट चैप्टर है कि कैसे उसने बच्चे को सिखाया कि कैसे आप पैसे के बारे में सोचना शुरू करोगे, because your thoughts make what you are. And that has I've been implemented to my son by gifting him this book on his 11th birthday last year. He's reading this book and he's following it. He started his own business to earn money. तो ये इम्पैक्ट है इस बुक का, especially first chapter का, कि it makes you think that why people are rich and how I can grow money to buy things what I love. That's
So
what
glad
I
to
want.
hear. So
That's
glad to
what I
hear
want.
that your kid has a rich mom in his life who he wants to listen to.
Right, thanks.
Okay. By the way, who is reading this book for the first time? Kanchan is reading first time. Liji too. Rekha too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rubina is also. So yeah, what has been your first impression after reading these few pages? What got clicked? क्या समझ आया इतने टाइम में?
Can I share?
Yes, please, Rekha.
Hi, Saloni. I think for me it was an eye opener. Okay, I work, and really I never thought that I should look into money like this. Okay, because we're like, okay, every month paisa aa raha hai, we are using it. That's it. There are certain phrases what he uses, right? You know, money is power. Money doesn't matter. And हमारे यहाँ ये सोचा जाता है कि like you know, I can't afford this. It is very expensive. ये middle class mentality है. I mean, you know, whether we accept or not, it is how it is. Like बहुत expensive है, कैसे मैं कमाऊँ उसके लिए वो चीज. So the sentences what he's using in certain things, it hits your mind directly. Like, acha, this is true what he's saying. So it's all what we understand is you have to just shift your perception about money. That's what I could gather in certain. How can I afford it? करके ये छोड़ के कि how will I work towards getting that? Is what we have to, because even I used to never think so much about the words we used to use, you know, when talking about money. So I think that's a eye opener for me, at least I should say.
For me, it is helping me become from a poor mother to a rich mother, because all this while, honestly, I also shared with my son, hey, you know what, study so that you can get a good job, or you know, like something on those lines. But now I think it is giving me a perspective of, you know, from being a poor mother to a rich mother. So I think that's my takeaway.
Thank you for sharing, Rubina. What about the rest?
May I? It's Amrita.
Yes, Amrita, please.
Okay, I read this book in 1997 when I was 25, and I am going to be 50 next year. I'm reading it now again. I have read it in between, but never paid attention. So the first thing when I was reading the introduction, what I got present with the fact is it's very relatable, because this is like what my parents would tell me, or my grandparents told my parents. It's like, you know, simple living, high thinking, you know, you can't afford it. That's the word which I heard, and I rebelled like the writer, but I didn't apply anything that I read from the book, because a friend had suggested. I just read, and I felt I just accomplished reading, but I didn't implement it in my life. Now I'm looking at it with a different perspective, and certain words like, if you think you are poor, like I can't afford it, but that shift is brought by Hira. Like when I was joining the Money Gym program, she kept saying, don't think you can't afford, make it possible. So it happened, and now in a similar manner I kept thinking about the stocks that's happening. So in 6 months my perspective has changed. So from being a poor dad thinker, I am trying to implement the rich dad, but conditioning is too strong. So I keep telling myself, think like a rich dad now. So first 2 chapters I've read. I haven't read the book, so maybe that whole book will make a difference. That's what I feel.
You know, when I read the first chapter, I was also wondering, okay, he was listening to his rich dad, he was listening to his poor dad. What about the mother? Don't women, you know, have these discussions with their kids about money at all? It got me thinking that you know, where is the women here?
I'd like to share. So this is my third go at the book. The first time I read it, I don't remember the year, but it was definitely a very long time back. And back then, when I think I just started the first few chapters, and I don't know, somehow I didn't connect with the book. Probably, obviously, my perspective was not right. So I felt like this is a story book. You know, this stuff doesn't happen. And I remember after 1-2 chapters, just closing the book and being like, fiction, not for me. I picked up the book, I think maybe 4-5 years back again, and that's when I read. And there were so many lines in the book, you know, that when your perspective is, they actually hit you. It's not in the first few chapters, but it's in the later chapters. So maybe when that comes in, I have this favorite line from this book which says, where he says, you know, pay yourself first. And blown away by it. I was just like, I never thought of money in terms of paying myself money so that I can pay somebody else for XC. What does that even mean? And even the starting few chapters, the thought that a child could be taught about money. For me, money education came in after I
Shreya, your voice is
Yeah.
breaking up for me. Okay.
Yes, her voice is breaking up.
Yes, yes, we can understand. Yeah, but it's breaking up. And no, it's worse. Oh. But we can come back to you. Anybody else would like to share, answer the question that Saloni has?
And yeah, I can repeat my question. So, did your mothers or even parents, either way, did they talk to you about money when you guys were kids?
No.
Not really.
Really, no. Mine either. Not very much.
My mom worked in a bank, but she never discussed money at home, Saloni, that's the irony.
They used to tell study, padhai pe dhyan do.
Yes, yes. Amrita, did your mother ever take you on a tour of the bank? Was there such a thing?
They didn't have a babysitter when I was a kid. Sheetal was brought up for the first 6 months in the bank. And I used to play with the bundle of notes. Yeah, because we lived in a very small place. So she tells me stories. In fact, I wrote checkbooks. She made me practice writing checkbooks on old checkbooks,
Shruti is also typing in the comments that she's reading this book for the first time, and it is giving her the different view about money, how a person gets different views from different people. Thank you for sharing that, Shruti. That is definitely a takeaway for me also, that how having two different sets of people as a guide formed his viewpoint about money.
Yeah, and as I was reading this, I was saying how fortunate to have two different perspectives flow in, right? Because then that's when our minds would think, right? Otherwise, mostly, if ever advice was given to us around money or people talked around money, maybe it was just one way that we heard them, and then that was it. Whether it was good advice or not so good advice, but whatever they said, there was nothing in contrast to really make me think and say, okay, who is right then? What is the right way to go about it? So it is so amazing to see here that the two dads brought in the wisdom in him, because they made him think. Just by being themselves, they were making this young person think about money. Yeah, and I think that's where we are at Women on Wealth is a blessing, that we can really talk about the different perspectives we come with, and then from there we are able to draw different perspectives for our own growth, whatever may have happened in the past. So it's amazing to have you all here openly share about how your life experience has been around money. Thank you so much. Who wants to share?
Coming back to Saloni's question, do mothers not get involved? I would like to say my mother did get involved, in the sense she was not a pro at investments as such, but she was a pro at saving. So she would teach us in terms of in fact, even today, that's her teaching. Like, first save and then spend with whatever you have. Don't think of first spending and then saving. So that has stayed with me even till date, and it has helped.
Thanks, Prerna. You look lovely.
Thank you. Coming back from the live just now.
Yes. Okay. So I do take a moment here to welcome all our brand new members who've joined us, and you guys may be really brand new to the Money Book Club as well. So please do participate and engage. Okay, that's the best way to take most out of this community together. Salori, over to you.
Thank you, Sheetal. So anyway, we also asked in the Telegram group as well, right? That what is one thing about money that you learned as a kid that stuck with you through all the years, or something that just never made sense? Anyone who would like to go?
Can you please repeat what you said now?
So I wanted to ask that, if there's something that you learned about money as a kid that stayed with you throughout your life, or something that you learned about money as a kid that just never made sense. जो आज तक समझ ही नहीं आया कि यार ये क्या हुआ, इसका क्या मतलब है?
नो, ऐसा तो कभी सीखा नहीं था, क्योंकि बचपन में तो पेरेंट्स ने कभी ऐसा बोला नहीं था। बट हाँ, जैसे बड़े हुए तो ये समझ में आया कि मतलब पैसा कमाने के लिए तो जिंदगी पड़ी है, अभी तो एंजॉय कर लो। लाइक व्हेन आई फर्स्ट गॉट माय पे चेक इन 2001, and that time like I was so happy with the paycheck, and my friends told me कि यार enjoy कर, पहला paycheck मिला है। and my father just said कि इसको बैंक में डाल दो, अभी तुम्हारी कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है, तो let it be saved. so उतना ही सलाह मिली थी, बाकी तो फिर धीरे धीरे सीखा। बट हाँ, अभी कुछ एक साल में ये जरूर सीखा कि एफडी और आरडी से पैसा नहीं बढ़ता है। after joining the money gym program.
That's so true. Piggybacking on what Rinku said, yes, when even I started earning, my parents, at that time, I didn't understand why they were saying this. My parents never allowed me to spend my salary. They were like, we are paying for all your needs, like petrol हुआ, खाना पीना, whatever. तुम्हारा बचाओ। समझ में नहीं आया। But बाद में समझ में आया कि यार वो जब बढ़ते गया, it became a lump sum. What I earned was near thousands in those days, but वो बन के lakhs बना, सब लगा कि अरे यार lakhs है। हाँ, ये अलग बात है कि वो फिर FD RD का situation नहीं पता था, but at least कुछ तो बना। So that is one thing which, I mean, yes, my father sort of enforced it on me.
Thank you guys for sharing. So Rajeshwari is also sharing in the comments that what stuck in her head is that money cannot buy everything, and it is something that she agrees with even today.
Yeah. To this, I want to say, so now that Rajeshwari has shared, I'm thinking that, and I have also heard it a lot, that money can't buy everything. Okay. Well, I don't need everything, right? I don't need to buy everything, but there are certain few things which is going to help me fulfill. But beyond money can't buy everything, there was no further explanation or exploration that happened, right? And then we just kept repeating, money can't buy everything. What do we even mean by that?
पैसा सब कुछ नहीं खरीद सकता, मतलब दोस्त नहीं खरीद सकता, प्यार नहीं खरीद सकता। दैट इज द फिलॉसफी। बट व्हेन यू फेस द रियलिटी कि बच्चे की फीस कैसे भरनी है, मेडिकल के बिल्स कैसे चुकाने हैं, घर का रेंट कैसे भरना है, शादी के बाद प्यार खत्म हो जाता है फिर, इफ यू आर इन अ लव मैरिज। ओके, सो द बेसिक नेसेसिटीज, you need money. The old age things, when you see your parents struggling, if at all, if anybody's parents is struggling, I've seen in my like family, wherein the children have not developed into anything, and the old parents are struggling to make ends meet because they never thought about growing money. or save money for that matter. So basic चीजों के लिए पैसा जरूरी है. Yes, प्यार और दोस्ती के लिए जरूरी नहीं.
Thank you. Thank you, Rinku, for that funny insight.
Rinku, you said pyar
No, but-
before marriage.
Yeah, exactly my point. You know, when you said dosti aur pyar ke liye paisa zaruri nahi, I think uske
हाँ.
liye bhi zaruri hai, right? Because at the end of the day, if your husband, if you're a housewife, if your husband is not giving you money, trust me,
हाँ.
there'll be no love. So you
हाँ,
need
तो
to
वही
come
कह
with
रही
a
हूँ ना,
love.
वो philosophy है. मतलब it's philosophy. But when you want to pay bills or go to a restaurant or see a movie, what do you need? And if you don't get that after marriage, how is your reaction?
And that love gets steals.
So you need money. You know, you should have money for that.
You know, I love what Seema Renuka Prasad is sharing. She said that my father used to tell, even if you spend more, it's okay. You should know exactly what you are spending. You should record it and then understand why. Why have I spent on this particular item? So yeah, I think, you know, this is something that we also practice a part of it in our Money Gym program also. And it has been eye-opening for a lot of people when they come to realize that what is it that they are spending on, and then finally realizing, okay, what is this behavior? What is this behavior that is, you know, driving that spending?
Yeah, Saloni, can I share something?
Yes, Jyoti.
You know, we're discussing parents. I kind of remember, I think I was maybe 6 or 7, and you know, we'd been to Lonavala to meet one of our relatives, and I was quite overwhelmed looking at their massive bungalow. Honestly, that is the biggest bungalow you know, that I have seen in my life by far. Okay, Andar se. And I remember we were returning to Pune, and I was sitting in my dad's lap, and I just turned back and you know, I just asked, "Ki, Papa, hum kab rich banenge?" And he's like, "Marry a rich man." Okay, and it upset me back then, and neither does it make sense to me today. So, you know, of course, उन्होंने चाहे किस भी इसमें बोला था, but then I just feel that, you know, our parents probably didn't know anything better, and you know, some things just get passed on generationally unless someone takes charge to kind of, you know, break the chain, if I may say so. तो मतलब ये ना, मैं कहीं ना कहीं इवन तो इट अपसेट मी, मैं शायद मान ही लिया था कि ये ऐसे ही मतलब लाइफ चलनी है, यू नो, रोज कुआं खोदो रोज पानी पियो टाइप्स, you know, because of what dad said back then. And of course, perspectives changed, you know, every 5 years we change. But yeah, it was made to believe that पैसा कमाना बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल है. So yeah.
Thank you. You know, this reminds me of an anecdote. There's a singer called Cher. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. So, you know, her mom's told her that, you know, yeah, this music and all is right, but now you should.
Bye-bye.
Kanchan, I'm just putting on mute. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, so her mother told her that, you know, yeah, this music and all is fine. You are successful now and all, but now just go and marry a rich man. And she said to her mother, "Mom, I am a rich man."
Great. Yeah.
And you know,
yeah.
coming to the point of things that didn't make sense to me, जो बचपन में हम सब बच्चों के साथ स्कैम होता है कि लोग हमें पैसे देके जाते हैं, रिश्तेदार वगैरह चबाते हैं, एंड वो हमारे पेरेंट्स रख लेते हैं, अरे कि तुम क्या करोगे, तुम नहीं संभाल सकते. तो यू नो, दिस इज वन थिंग दैट नेवर मेड सेंस टू मी, that this idea that kids cannot handle money. I think because now when looking back, I think if I was, you know, given that money to handle and to be given that freedom to make my own decisions with that money, I probably would have been a little bit more knowledgeable about it by today. I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
I
struggled
agree.
so much.
Yeah, I agree with you, Saloni. This is Seema here. And yeah, what I do to my daughter now is whatever money is given, I keep a record, given by whom. So she knows from whom she can expect more money in the future also, right? That is one thing. I write it up and then show it to her, one. And I also put it in her account, right? So that like, you know, she can use it later, one. Another thing, what I do with my kid is like, for sometimes I ask her to do a photo shoot or do some work for me.
And then I pay to her, saying that if I go to an external person for a photo shoot, then I pay, say, $1,000, $2,000. Now I'm giving you a 500. Okay. So that, like, she knows the difference. And then she also knows that nothing comes free in the world, right? Nobody can also just make use of it, right? So the reason is, yes. So me and then my friends at a later stage of our IT boom, and then, after spending a lot of money, just wasting money, we realized that, like, yeah, so our parents didn't really guide us well, right? Like, lot of us. The reason was they didn't know, right? So they didn't know. And so at least I think at least we can guide our kids now. Yeah.
Thank you, Seema, for sharing that. I love that when you said that, record करके रखना चाहिए ताकि पता चलेगा और कहाँ से और पैसे आ सकते हैं, कौन सा रिश्तेदार है जिसको आगे इसे मक्खन लगाना है हमें.
Yeah, because they know he is the only person who has the money, and then they know at least, right, who is not makhan lagana hai. So
I know. I'm just joking.
Right? Like, yeah, from where she is getting, and then so many people are helping her or like giving her just for free, right? Yeah.
Saloni, I have a different story to share regarding receiving the money.
Yes, please share.
When I was a kid, I remember brand new 1 rupee coins, 11 coins. I used to play with them, and my mother didn't take it away from me. I still remember, distinctly carrying it around, because I think I was all of 6 or 7 years old. My brother was born around that time, so I remember. So I bought toffees with it. I think I blew half of it in buying toffees. And so, like, I thought they would still stay. So I would, like, from the whole lot, the jingling became less. So my mother then sat me down and explained that, see, you got toffees, and now this is what, so the addition and subtraction I knew by then, So that actually made me realize, yes, that the toffee was a sheer waste of thing. Then next time when I started getting money, I would go and voluntarily give it to her. So she said that was a big lesson for you. Earlier, you wouldn't let us touch even when you were an infant. But I think that toffee incident made me give it. And to add to this also, I remember showing keenness in stocks when I was in my 20s. So I spoke to my dad, who knew about FDs and NSEs and all that. When I started working, I spoke to him. He said, Ameer log stocks mein invest karte hain. Because our neighbors would get that, Reliance shares, the letters, and I would go and hand it over. So I spoke to my dad. I was curious. He said, "Nahi, Ameer log hi invest karte hain." So I think that that influence has stayed, because they also didn't know. And we also, to a certain extent, didn't know till we started working.
Yeah. Yes. True. It's very true.
Saloni, I was 25 or probably 26 when you were born,
That's why I love this group, that I get to meet so many different women from so many different walks of life, and I learn so much here from all of you.
Yeah, I want to.
I can add.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
Shruti,
ahead.
please
Go ahead. Srishti, go ahead.
Okay, so just to add what we've been talking about when relatives used to give us money. So I used to question this when my parents used to take the money which my relatives used to give to me, because I used to be so happy of iske saath kuch kar paungi. I could actually think about something to buy with it. But then my mother had a point of view, and she said कि जब हम when we go to their place, we are the ones who are giving them the money. So it's sort of balancing out the act. So why do you keep the money? And I was like, okay, makes sense somehow, but I thought it was my money, but yeah. So, and then, coming to the question about the book. So I think reading this book, you always go back to what you've experienced, and like the sentences just resonate so much, like from the perspectives, the poor dad used to say that you have to secure this the stable job so that you have the government to pay for you when you are old after your retirement. And so my parents both being in government jobs, so they both have a stable secure job. And I mean used to get this lesson that, see, like when they used to talk about how they chose a partner to marry. So my parents used to say that we wanted to choose somebody who also had a government job, so we know that this job is stable, and you should also aim for it. And I was just so, I mean, because I know that what they are doing is not something that I would be able to do every day, just like going there and doing this work for years to come. And the stable job didn't really make sense, because I also heard my other relatives saying, that I switched to this job, to that job. And then I used to compare what my parents are saying to me and what this relative is doing. And it's like, what's happening? I mean, like, who is right? And I mean, while reading this book, and then I was just thrown back to this thinking that it's the perspective that matter. But then, like, I mean, I like this, that the author was actually, I mean, he was like, he had this interest in making a decision as well, like whom to really believe, and like, which path should I take. And I think that is a very important like exercise of the mind, that like you see both the points and then you decide as well. So I think I was lacking that at that point of time. I was just confused कि ये हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पे. But yeah, and then but at the same time, I mean, yeah, like all the parents, they always try to make us aware of all the mistakes that they did, and what they think is good. And then there was a point that, like, education is everything, so you have to get good marks in order to get a secure job as well. So I also had a question, I think, to the book, because like the rich dad was saying, that yes, you can study all you want, you can get good grades, but it doesn't really guarantee you getting rich, so to say. And so yes, in one sense it makes sense that you have to like good grades would give you higher chances of being employed by a good company. But then I also get to view that whatever you do it to your full potential, and then you get rich there as well. But I mean, I would really like to hear everybody's perspectives on this as well. I am a bit confused.
Yes, Shrishti, the confusion is always there, because when we are studying, we feel कि जो हमारे पेरेंट्स कर रहे हैं वो सही नहीं है, क्योंकि उनके पास टाइम नहीं है हमारे लिए. हम हमारे बच्चों को ऐसा नहीं करेंगे. That is what my son says. When we say we don't have time, he says मैं नहीं ऐसा करूंगा. I'll give full time to and I'll earn lot of money. I won't be worried about you, like you people are worried. He's just 11, okay? He talks like this. So everybody has that thing. And the thing is that first you understand what kind of personality you are. Whether 9-to-5 job doesn't suit you, but you want a secure life, then start saving. Because seeing you, I think you're very young. What's your age?
28.
So fine, you're young, you still have much time with you. Start saving right from now. And by the age of 40, you can take a VRS from anything what you're doing. And that will give you a lovely life. Right? Because Rich Dad Poor Dad mein ye kaha hai, let the money work for you. You don't work for the money. So that is what my son is doing. He's learning from us about mutual funds. Can you believe that? He listens to Priyanka's talks, live shows, along with me.
Hello, sir. Geeta बोल रही हूँ, sir.
So that's what I want to say. Let's
I want
first
to
understand your personality, actually.
Hi everybody, this is Surabhi here. Can I ask a question here? It's related to what you said just now, Rinku.
Yes.
Yes, I have a question here. I have children who are 15 and 16-year-old.
Yes.
So I always had this impression and thought in mind that with children we should not talk about money because it tends to make them money minded and to think about money and all areas. So don't you think at 11 years of age, isn't it too early to talk about money with them?
Okay, thanks a lot. You asked this question. This is asked by my many friends. Like when I tell them कि आप अपने बच्चों से बात करो, उनके बच्चे 20 साल के हो गए, कॉलेज में कुछ ने जॉब भी स्टार्ट कर लिया है, और पेरेंट्स रो रहे हैं, या कोई इंजीनियरिंग में पढ़ रहा है तो पेरेंट्स रो रहे हैं कि यार उतना हमारे पास फाइनेंसेस नहीं है कि हम उसे अच्छा एजुकेशन दे सकें आगे, हम आज भी स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं. तो जब मैंने मनी जिमस ज्वाइन किया था तो मैंने ये सोचा कि मतलब सबसे पहले मेरे बेटे की वजह से मैंने मनी जिमस ज्वाइन किया. लेट मी मेक दैट वेरी क्लियर टू यू, बिकॉज आई मेड हिम ज्वाइन अ प्रोग्राम फॉर चिल्ड्रन बाय द वाव कम्युनिटी जो बीना करती है. ओके, एंड
I don't know about that.
हाँ, दैट यू कैन लेटर टॉक टू शीतल और बीना. बट मैं आपसे इसलिए शेयर कर रही हूँ ये चीज क्योंकि वो प्रोग्राम करने के बाद माय सन बिकेम सो मच aware about the money, the savings, that he started questioning me कि पढ़ाई करना जरूरी है या पैसे कमाना जरूरी है. And then I told him कि पैसे कमाने के लिए पढ़ाई भी करना जरूरी है.
Yes, of course.
है ना. तो अभी यहाँ मैं अपने एक फ्रेंड का एग्जांपल दूंगी. She is of my age only, 44, and she has 2 children. अभी दोनों एडल्ट्स हो गए. बेटा 22 है, बेटी 19 की है. 5 साल पहले उन्हें सेविंग्स क्या है पता नहीं था, जितना आता था सारा खर्च हो जाता. ठीक है. फिर मेरे से then she asked what you do. I said I put it in the bank. She opened an account for both of her children in the bank, and after 6 years, this month her child was 22 years old. She gave him a 50,000 का FD as a gift. कि ये तुम्हारी सेविंग से ही हुआ है, तुम्हारा बैंक अकाउंट देखो, और उसका PPF भी अकाउंट खुलवा दिया. आज वो लड़का 22 साल में 5 साल लग गए उसकी माँ को समझाने में कि पैसे क्यों जरूरी है. बिकॉज चिल्ड्रन बिकम मनी माइंडेड ओनली इफ वी टेल देम दैट एवरीथिंग इज मनी. बट इफ वी टेल देम द इम्पोर्टेंस कि देखो 40 इयर्स में जब तुम पहुंचोगे तुम अपने मनपसंद चीजें कर सकते हो. चलो 40 इयर्स बहुत दूर हो गए. आज उसकी बेटी को मेकअप किट खरीदना है बिकॉज कॉलेज में आ गई है वो, तो उसकी बेटी के अकाउंट में उसने RD खुलवा दी कि नेक्स्ट ईयर तुम्हारा है ना, कैलकुलेट करो कि कितना इंटरेस्ट आएगा. तो उनको कुछ 3,000 रुपए एक्स्ट्रा मिल रहे थे आफ्टर द मैच्योरिटी ऑफ दैट RD. एंड हर शी टोल्ड हर डॉटर देखो 3,000 रुपए तुम्हारे मेकअप किट के लिए तैयार हो गए. And all the calculation was done by her daughter. She is just 18 years old. So what we have to teach our children is that why money is important to fulfill our basic needs. But for that, we should have financial knowledge. From where we will get that? If we are not graduate or a postgraduate, will not get a job or will not be able to do business, will not be able to earn. Then if we are not able to earn, how are we going to save and grow? पर सेविंग्स के लिए हम 25 साल का होने तक वेट करेंगे तो वो बेवकूफ.
Yes. Can I add something to this? Hi.
Yes, sir, we go ahead.
Can I add something to this? Hi, I'm Kajal here.
Sorry, Kajal. Oh, sorry. Yes, hi.
Yeah. Hi. I think this is my first meet, and I would just add to Rinku's words. Yes, it is important for us to tell kids from very early age that how money should be generated and also how money is important. Saving is important. For example, see, my kid is just 4 years old right now, but for her also it is very easy to tell. टूट गया ना, ठीक है, हम दूसरा ले लेंगे. So they don't know that why. मतलब ठीक है, ले लेंगे. It is very easy to tell. और parents के लिए भी काफी easy है that they will buy and give it. But where is it coming from? Also, the kids should know. And I think as early as we start teaching them, they would also learn to value that money. Just not creating it or just not earning it, but with the early levels, they will also learn to know the value. कि ऐसे ही नहीं आ जाता है कुछ भी. अगर सेव करना है तो भी ऐसे ही नहीं आ रहा है कहीं से भी. We have to earn it for that.
Means आज मेरा 11 साल का बेटा हमारे साथ डिस्कस कर रहा है कि घर में डिश वॉशर लेना चाहिए क्या नहीं. And
Right.
he's researched and compared the prices and features from Google. And he told me and my husband, these are the things, now you decide.
Yeah, I agree totally with this thing. I don't think age matters to know about money or something like that. पहले हम लोग गुल्लक में पैसे सेव करते थे, आज बैंक में सेव करते हैं. I think that is the only difference. It is only that how we can increase it. Yeah, that comes by age for them. But for sure, they need to learn about money from the very early stages. And with today, as the trends are changing very fast, that has become a necessity for parents even to talk to kids very frankly, very transparently. मतलब छुपाने की कोई जरूरत लगती नहीं, क्योंकि बच्चे आजकल काफी समझदार हैं. And as early as we start teaching them, they would know the difference between right and wrong very easily. And they will be able to take their own decisions and become independent.
And somewhere I think to add to this one lovely discussion today, it's what has been taught to us or what we have seen, right? कि अच्छा बच्चे irresponsible होते हैं because they're too young, उनको कुछ पता नहीं है, इसलिए पैसा नहीं दिया जाता उनको, चाहे वो 5 रुपए हो 50 रुपए हो, right? और maybe 5 रुपए देना is okay, but 50-500 देना नहीं okay है. But it can be old ways of doing things that we are now, if we are not mindful or conscious, that we could be passing on to our children. Because पहले ऐसा हुआ था या मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ था. But of course, with the Kids and Money program that we have at Women on Wealth that Beena leads, we are teaching kids as young as 8 years old to really budget. They're learning how to save money. They're understanding the basics of banking, saving and investing. So it can start early. It's just that we think ये बच्चे हैं तो अभी टाइम नहीं है, तो कब है टाइम? Have we ever, do we even ask, अच्छा तो कौन सा समय सही होता है? क्या 21 साल सही होता है या 18 साल सही होता है या 30 साल सही होता है? Today at 30, 40, we regret not starting early. So what are we as parents doing to start our kids early on their financial education?
And I have a point to add to this. Like I've been on the receiving end, like on the other side of this, story where I had once, my mother's wallet was lying on the table and I just took money out of it. And I got the biggest scolding. Like I really got scolded that day. And from that day on, I never ever had that attachment. I never touched money. Like I never looked at it. It was always like, yeah, jo bhi paise kahin se bhi aa rahe hain, give it to your parents. It's not, it's not. So I was conditioned to think that you have to work hard, you have to earn money, you have to do engineering, you have to take a safe job, and you have to work harder and harder and harder and keep running so that you can earn better and you can live a good life. But it took me a lot of time to realize, and in engineering also they say you should not work hard, you should work smart. So it took me like a good amount of time to realize that if I keep working hard with the amount of needs, in the current lifestyle that I live, the needs are going to increase. I'm not going to be able to sustain myself with that thought process. I know that money is not to be something that should, there should not be greed attached to it. And that's how I've been conditioned to think. But at the same time, I have to think of ways to work smarter. So I think as a child, if you are taught, things, how do you work smarter? Like if you're getting money from your relatives, how do you put that into an account? How do you make it, while you're sitting or while you're sleeping, it's just growing for you. And I think that has worked out for a lot of our relatives as well. Like they haven't really worked hard. They've worked very smart. So I think that's what I've learned. And I feel like that's why any child should not, I know that detachment, that greed should not be there for money, but at the same time, that importance that you don't have to always work hard to be rich. You have to work smart. So I think that is my learning from it.
Sheetal, I wanted to add, see, we teach kids a lot of systems and habits. So I think financial intelligence should be like a habit, like, saving or the difference between want and need. Yes, we teach, but I think if it becomes a habit, it's easier because I don't have any kids, but I have been living like a kid all my life, just, spending now, kal ki kal dekhenge. But I think if somebody had taught me that young, I would have definitely done better. No regrets now, I still have time. But I think it's better to make it a habit than think later ki tab dekhenge when we cross a bridge.
Yeah, as we also read it in the book that Robert Kiyosaki's financial education started when he was just 9 years old. And those lessons continued over a period of 30 years. So I think kids can be taught early, but how early is too early? That I don't know. I believe Veena had done a live on it. If we can find it, we can share it on the group maybe. Also, we are teaching kids about, like, for example, even younger kids about climate change, right? And why we are teaching about it? Because it is about their future. It is the world that they will be living in. So I think similarly, teaching kids about money is also important because it is for their safe financial future. So this is just what I feel. And why financial literacy is important, I think we'll find that in chapter 2 of this book. I think we can skip to reading now. And thank you everybody for such a interesting discussion today. And thank you, Surbhi. I think she was the one who asked this question.
Yes.
Thank you, Surbhi, for asking this question. I think it really opened up a very healthy dialogue among
Thank you.
everybody. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, guys, what we also do here is we take out some time to read a few pages of the book, and I would like any of you to volunteer for this reading. You can read just one page, and then we'll see if we have anything to discuss, or we can just read further on. So who would like to read this chapter? I see that there are some people who have not spoken at all. So we would love to hear from you, even if it's in form of reading. Who would like to read, guys? Please quickly give any of your names.
I think we should invite Surbhi. Give her the privilege of reading to us. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I would love to read. Lesson 2, why teach financial literacy? It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. In 1990, Mike took over his father's empire and is in fact doing a better job than his dad did. We see each other once or twice a year on the golf course. He and his wife are wealthier than you could imagine. Rich Dad's empire is in great hands, and Mike is now grooming his son to take his place, as his dad had groomed us. In 1994, I retired at the age of 47, and my wife Kim was 37. Retirement does not mean not working. For us, it means, barring unforeseen cataclysmic changes, we can work or not work, and our wealth grows automatically, staying ahead of inflation. Our assets are large enough to grow by themselves. It's like planting a tree. You water it for years, and then one day it doesn't need you anymore. Its roots are implanted deep enough. Then the tree provides shade for your enjoyment. Should I continue? Mike chose to run the empire, and I chose to retire. Whenever I speak to groups of people, they often ask what I would recommend that they do. How do I get started? Is there a book you would recommend? What should I do to prepare my children? What is your secret to success? How do I make millions? Whenever I hear one of these questions, I am reminded of the following story. Should I continue? Okay. The richest businessman. In 1923, a group of our greatest leaders and richest businessmen held a meeting at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago. Among them were Charles Schwab, head of the largest independent steel company, Samuel Insull, president of the world's largest utility, Howard Hobson, head of the largest gas company, Ivar Kreuger, president of International March Company, one of the largest companies at that time. Leon Fraser, president of the Bank of International Settlements, Richard Whitney, president of the New York Stock Exchange, Arthur Cotton and Jesse Livermore, two of the biggest stock speculators, and Albert Fall, a member of the President Harding's cabinet. 25 years later, 9 of these titans ended their lives as follows. Schwab died penniless after living for 5 years on borrowed money. Insull died broke in a foreign land. Kruger and Cotton also died broke. Hobson went insane. Whitney and Albert Fall were released from prison, and Fraser and Livermore committed suicide. I doubt if anyone can say what really happened to these men. If you look at the date 1923, it was just before the 1929 market crash and the Great Depression, which I suspect had a great impact on these men and their lives. The point is this: today, we live in times of greater and faster change than these men did. I suspect there will be many booms and busts in the coming years that will parallel the ups and downs these men faced. I am concerned that too many people are too focused on money and not on their greatest wealth, their education. If people are prepared to be flexible, keep an open mind, and learn, they will grow richer and richer despite tough changes. If they think money will solve problems, they will have a rough ride. Intelligence solves problems and produces money. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone.
Thank you, Surbi, for reading for us. Let's take a pause here, I would say.
Okay.
So, ये lines पढ़ के मुझे frankly प्रियंका की याद आ गई, because she always emphasizes on कि ठीक है, हो जाएगा, you'll learn, you'll make money, कहीं कुछ भागा नहीं जा रहा है, markets will go up and down. That's fine, you are not missing out on an opportunity, but first learn how to deal with money, get financially educated first. So I don't know, it really reminded me of Priyanka again today. So
I want to add, here they also say that, all these men were broke after the Great Depression, right? So it is also emphasizes on the retirement fund, which always Priyanka talks about. Maybe, they thought about it or not, I doubt, because it says that they were broke and committed suicide and whatnot. So I think the Money Gene programs, pillars what we have put definitely is resonating with what it is here.
Moreover, when we learn about financial literacy, our emotional quotient is increased. What I feel, हमें उतार चढ़ाव क्या होता है पता है, और पैसा आगे बनेगा ही, कुछ खत्म नहीं हुआ है. We came to know that thing. So emotional stability related to money does increase if we have financial knowledge, and that's very important. Otherwise, people do go into depression and all those things.
Yeah, and I think that happens because, again, the financial literacy thing, we build on that emergency fund for emergencies like this. For example, the market has had a great crash, or maybe I know that my retirement fund is secure. So I wouldn't, take impulsive decisions like I would have if I had not had the financial education via this program. So I agree, I think financial education prepares you for the ups and downs. Very correctly said. Thanks.
So guys, we have other members. So Mansi, Ramya, Swapna, Sneha, Sunita. So we haven't heard Ria. So we haven't heard a lot from you guys today. So I would just invite you guys to take this opportunity and maybe share what you are getting from these last few lines that we just read, or maybe just share what financial education means to you. Why are you here today? And please, if you can unmute yourself, please unmute and share, or use the chat box. We are all ears. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Swapna.
Go ahead, Swapna.
Yeah, I have already, my network is not very good. I have already shared why I'm here today because the mistakes I have made, I don't want to see my daughter making it. So I'm here to learn so that I can impart that guidance to her.
Thank you, Sampna, for this commitment for yourself and your daughter. I'm sure she'll be grateful to you in the coming years for taking this time.
All right. So this is going to be a rocking chapter, is how I see it, you know. And welcome, Ramya, for your first live, and we look forward to having you every time. Okay. So yes, we are down to the last 5 minutes. This place, Women on Wealth is a hub of financial education for women, right? There are too many gaps out in the world that financial education can fill. And it starts with each one of us here and the many women that you can go out and tell that they also need to embrace financial education, right? Because it will start from that person, and then the thread of change then just keeps extending thereon. Okay. So I do want to thank everybody for showing up, and it's been so exciting with today's discussion. And if any of you, and I know that many of you are also our Money Gym graduates, and anybody who is new to Women on Wealth and would like to know more, the first stepping stone would be to attend our free introduction session called the Financial Success Model. And we are doing that live tomorrow from 5 p.m. It's going to be from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So reach out to us if you want to attend the free introduction session to our Money Gym program, okay, to get yourself financially educated. And we are not financial advisors, we are not financial planners, because financial advisory and financial planners, they can, it helps us, it keeps us in the dependency mindset. And what we strive for is for women to become to be able to make independent decisions, and then decisions that they're confident of with regards to their money life at any stage of their life. Okay, so that is what we believe in. So please reach out if you want to attend the free introduction session tomorrow. And for anybody else who's already attended or who is certain that I must take charge, I must start on my financial education, then we have a brand new batch on Money Gym, okay, that is going to start in the month of March. So March 27th. So get ready to enroll yourself and stay, get on the path of your wealth creation through your financial upskilling. So that's what I would want to say. For the coming week, we are going to spend time on chapter 2. Make notes, whatever flows as you're reading, please keep sharing it in the Telegram group, and bring many such wonderful questions and answers from your own life into the book discussion. Next week, we meet here again at 5 o'clock. Okay. And something else that is going to happen in the book club, it is Friday. So what happens in the book club at 8 p.m. on Friday?
Quiz.
Yes, the Financial Friday quiz from this week's ET Wealth is going to happen. So all the questions will drop at 8 p.m. sharp. And so just log in and then participate in the quiz. Okay, that's another plug that we have in helping women become more financially aware and get financial education. So thank you all. This has been lovely. Continue to read and share. And thank you, Saloni, for leading it beautifully and helping us think more, because that is what we pay people for, right? So that people can think on our behalf. And look at us, we're thinking free here. Okay. So thanks so much. I'm going to close the meet here. And for everybody watching us on Facebook, do connect. The link to the Money Book Club is in the description of this video. So with that, we close. Thank you so much. It's been a lovely Friday evening with you guys. So enriching.
Thank you.
Thank you,
See you
guys.
next
Bye
week.
bye.
Thank you. See you next
Thank you,
week.
everyone. See you next week. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.